It's been a little while since I last updated you guys on my chili plants progress, and I'll be doing a little bit of that today. I'll also be showing you what's going on with my monster chili plants that I'm competing with Geek, and apparently I'm competing with a bunch of other people as well, because a lot of people have got involved. They've reached out to let me know that they're also going to try and see how big they can get their plants, and that's going to be awesome to see the progress. Actually, some of the progress I've seen from you guys, it's pretty scary. You're doing really well. Mine probably aren't there just yet, but I'm confident, quietly confident in my process and method for this year. So I think I'm still in with a chance. Now, I haven't done an update for a little while because I've been extremely busy. I was going to show you this little surprise at the end of this video. We have a new addition to the ChilliChump family, and he's followed me outside and is at my feet yapping and wants to meet all of you. So everybody, I'd like you to meet Barney. Say hello, Barney. Well, he hasn't yet got to the talking stage just yet, but yeah, he's a real cutie. He's been keeping us up the last few nights, and I'm sure he'll be featuring in quite a few videos in the future. But yeah, he's such a cutie and will help hopefully scare away the moles that have been destroying my lawn. What's wrong? And also chase away the cat that's been digging up all my asparagus. But yeah, he's a real sweetie. He's a miniature dachshund, and yeah, he's already made a massive impact in our family. I better hand him back to Mrs. ChilliChump because I've got to show you some other things that I've been busy with as well. Nothing else I say in this video is going to mean anything now compared to that. But yeah, there's been some big changes around here on the ChilliChump Homestead. The biggest one is probably right behind me over there. We have a new grow space. It's almost the size of my large greenhouse, not quite. It's a couple meters shorter and probably half a meter or so narrower, but it's a lovely size grow space, and I have a lot planned for it. So I wanted some more growing space because, of course, I want to grow more chilies, but I also wanted to be able to do some experiments. Number one, comparing greenhouses versus polytunnels. It's a question I get so often from you guys: which one should I get, a greenhouse or polytunnel? And I have had a polytunnel in the past, but having one on the same scale as my greenhouse, I think it'll be quite interesting to see how that goes. I have some other awesome experiments that I've already started setting up in there, and I'm in the middle of the video to actually show you all of that, the setup and what I'm going to be doing in that space. There'll also be some raised beds in there, so we'll be able to grow directly in the ground. That's another question I get quite a lot. Why do I have hard standing inside my greenhouses? So they'll concrete it over, and there's a few reasons for that. So I'm in the middle of that video. I'm also in the middle of another very interesting video. As you may know from many of my past videos, I love to experiment. I love to come up with new processes or enhance existing processes, or even just optimize for cost efficiency other things. So what I've been doing here, and this is going to be part of my monster chili plant video that's going to be coming up soon, so it'll be dedicated one to that. This is going to be where one of my monster chili plants is going to be grown. Now, I don't want to give it all away because well, you can kind of see what's going on here. I am in the middle of filming this. I'll probably finish this off tomorrow, and then I've got a bit of editing to do. This whole area is going to be dedicated to my monster chili plants. I think I'm going to end up with 3, maybe 4 monster chili plants. Yet to decide. We'll see how good the stock is of my plants that I'm starting out. The smaller greenhouse is where I spend most of the early part of the season because it's a lot easier and cheaper to heat up. Whether I'm using a small electrical heater that you can see down the bottom over there, or the diesel heater that's going to go in here at a later stage. And it's more than enough space for my early plants before they get potted up to the final pot size. Now you'll notice I don't have any of my chili plants in here except for maybe 1 or 2. I have a couple here that are basically sacrificial plants. Hopefully they do survive. If I start seeing them getting distressed, starting to lose leaves, things like that, then I will do something about that. But this allows me to just gauge how the season's going. If these start growing rapidly over the next week or so, then I know it's time for me to start pulling in my other chili plants into this space outside of the grow shed. I have a lot of vegetables coming up here. These are all my tomato plants. I have some of my squashes back there, and they're coming up nicely. I have some cabbages starting over there. I have a couple crack key systems over here for my lettuce. Nothing's come up just yet. We've got some basic crack key systems. If you are interested in crack key, have a look at Kangstar's videos. He has some great videos on the crack key hydroponics method. Inside these propagators, we have some peas starting out. These ones are doing far better than those. They're two different types of peas. But yeah, we'll soon be able to take those covers off. Probably could take them off today, to be honest. But I was just hoping a few more were going to come up on this side. And of course, corn. Absolutely love corn. So we've got quite a bit starting there and over there. This is an interesting one. This is actually my lemon perry, my original lemon perry plant. So this is F1 generation. I, again, couldn't take myself to throwing this away, and yeah, we can see that it's still growing. I did overwinter it inside the potting shed, and it just keeps coming back. Some really strange growth. If you remember the first season when I was starting these out, it was giving me some strange growth as well. Just thought I'd keep it around for a little bit longer. If we have a look over here, I was potting up yesterday, which I'll show you all of those plants in a bit. These are the ones that I decided not to pot up. I have enough of these varieties, so some of them like the CC jalapeno, I have quite a few of those. Now that's a beautiful healthy plant. I could go and pot that up, but I think I have more than enough plants at the moment. Talking of which, let's go and have a look inside the potting shed. Oh, before we head in there, great news for the chickens. It sounds like the 18th of April, so just about a week or so, we'll be allowed to let them out and free roam again. I cannot wait, and I'm sure they can't wait either. Now, the lights wouldn't normally be on now. I've put them on just because of the video. I have them on in the evenings because we have a cheaper rate for electricity in the evenings, so it just made sense. And also, it's colder in the evenings, and these lights actually provide a little bit of heat. So it helps offset some of the warmth that my diesel-powered heater puts out. Just makes the most of all that energy. So these plants are looking good. These are most of them that I potted up yesterday. You'll notice some of them are quite small. Where's a couple that like this one here, that's tiny, tiny, tiny. Now if you watched my video from a month or so back, I was doing an experiment with my different types of soil, and I used peat moss alone for some of my very early seeds as part of that experiment. I should have thrown them all away, but I tried to keep them and see what I could do with them. That's one of them, and you can see it's literally so tiny, but we'll see. I'm sure now that I potted up into decent soil, a decent soil mix. That's another one there. You can see it looks a bit anemic, but now that it's in a proper soil mix, I'm sure these will take off. So take note of that. This is number 103 and this one's 307. So I'll try and update you on those two in the next proper garden update video. But other than that, we have some beautiful ones. Look at that over there. Lovely growth. And I think this is one of my jalapenos. People ask if I pinch off these flowers. I do just, I'll pop them off or I'll squeeze them so they die. So you don't need them at this early stage. The reason they're coming through is because I'd left this plant too long in the tray that it was in. Now that it's got more soil to spread its roots, it'll stop putting out new flowers and can concentrate on growing its root system. Let's have a look through here. Some beautiful plants. Really are looking good. Had a few issues here. Some of the early growth just fell off. The new growth that's coming through is looking a lot healthier. This one here. Yeah. Looking happy enough. There's again some flowers in there that I should pop off before they turn into flowers. You don't want the energy going into the flowers, you want it to go into the root system at this stage. The only ones that I've got left to pot up are over here. I am running a little experiment on the end tray over there, which I will share with you guys in the future as well. Again, I'm in the middle of probably 4 or 5 different videos where I'm filming content over a period of time, and that's one of them. And I think the results of that will be very interesting for you. But yeah, these are the final ones that need to be potted up. These here are all Dorset Nagers. You can see how tiny they are, and I think I'll be using 1 or 2 of these for my monster chili plant. But the one that I think is most likely to give me results is this one here, and this has a hell of a story. This over here, it's sitting inside my hydroponic system. Let's have a look at the root system in there. Look at that. I'm not going to pull it all out just yet because it'll be a pain to get it back in. But that there will be going into a hydroponic system, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, like I said, there's a bit of a story here. This plant and that plant, they looked almost dead. I took these out of the soil experiment video as well, so they were looking even worse than that. Actually, this Dorset Naga about a month ago was that size. Actually, 3.5 weeks ago was that exact size. And I popped it in here, and just look at that. It's growing like crazy. Now, these other plants, those were started separately. These are all from Kangstar. So they're about 3 or 4 different varieties that Kangstar sent me, and they're doing nicely. I only had 2 that haven't germinated. And something that was really weird, this thing here, I thought it was dead. I don't know what's going on with that. That's such a strange little thing there. I'm going to leave it go. I was going to remove it, but let's see what it does. I don't think it's going to go too much further than that, but it still seems like it is alive. But other than that, these other ones are looking healthy. Yeah, they're all looking good. That one back there, I love that. Look at the crinkly little leaves back there. Beautiful plants. I love this stage. You get to see the potential these plants have. If you have a look at the back, this was started a lot earlier than this system here. This is my LPH Max, the biggest system, which has got a bit of automation involved. It feeds using this pipe water back into the system if it goes too low, that sort of thing. And you can see the plants are doing really well in here. Again, these need to get out of the system. I need to be potting them up, and you will see that again in a future video. So actually, man, I must have about 6 or 7 videos actually on the go at the moment, because I have done the beginning of starting these out, and I will finish off that video when I go and put them into my big system, which is actually going to be inside the polytunnel. But yeah, these need to get out of here soon. Look at that. That root system is, again, massive. So yeah, the plants are doing really well. Just like I said, there's I think each tray there is about 40 cells, so 40, 80, 160 still to pot up. I think I've already potted up about 100 and probably 180 or so, maybe a bit more than that. Again, probably too many plants for the grow space that I have, but at least it gives me options, and you never know. Sometimes these plants, when you potted them up, they might not do so well. And at least having options, you can choose the strongest one when you go to actually finally potting up into the final pot size and let them grow through the season. You don't want sickly plants or plants that are going to be growing too slowly. It's just a waste of space at that point. As sad as it is to throw away these plants, you've got to be somewhat practical as well. So it's been a busy time. There are a couple other videos which I haven't actually mentioned yet that are on the go at the moment, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. So bear with me while I get on top of all these things. It can be a bit challenging balancing real life with obviously the stuff I do on YouTube, as well as managing a chili business, a chili sauce business, chili growing business. And yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there in the end. I hope you enjoyed this bit of an informal video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, stay spicy.